Hello, for this children's literature review assignment, I have chosen to focus on my math lesson plan for kindergarten, which is counting and sorting objects by categories. Reading is Teddy Bear Patterns, which I will put up here for you to see. And the reason why I chose this book is because already in my classroom, I have been incorporating counting teddy bears of different colors for my kindergarten students. This book creates rhymes for students to learn the numbers in different patterns. And each page will either give a rhyme or give you an object. A page might have three different color categories of teddy bears, and it will ask you, can you find a group of 6 teddy bears? So for this book, it can be used as an interactive book during a math lesson, or if you get different, if you have different copies, multiple copies, you can have a small group and they have their own bears, and it can be a small group activity to focus on counting for your groups that do not yet understand. I would use for this book and also this lesson is the same standard I've actually used in my math lesson plan so that they tie in together, which will be CC.2.4.K.A.4, which is classify objects into categories, sort the categories by counting, problem solving, and critique reasoning. And that translates into this book counting the colored categories. So all the bears will be the same size, and that way they only have one category to focus on, and that's the colors. So me as a teacher, I might say, can you find 3 red bears in the book? And they would then find the 3 red bears in the book. Or I might say, in this pattern, and I'll have a picture. I'll show you the picture that I am referencing. This pattern, there is red, green, purple, yellow, red, green. For this pattern, what 2 colors have the same amount of bears? And then I will repeat the question again. What 2 colors have the same amount of bears? So in this case, if I don't receive an answer, I would ask then by each color, and I would write it down on the board. How many red bears do you see? 2. How many green bears do you see? 2. How many purple bears do you see? 1. How many yellow bears do you see? 1. So I would continue this process throughout the book so that they will understand. And after I read the book to them, explaining them their activity would be to match the bears to their cards. So I will also put a picture up here as well to show what that would actually look like. And each table will have a certain amount of cards and a certain amount of bears. For each table, they may have less than the other because I would like for them to problem solve together. So if their card has 2 red bears, but they only have 1 red, their partner may have more than one. So I would create problems at each table for them to be forced to work together. An assessment I could use for this activity would be to maybe read the book again and have them go to their seats and give them a completely separate paper to work on, activity to work on in regards to either the bears or different color circles or different color squares that would have to challenge them to understand the concept. Not just bears, but also it might be 3 red circles, 2 blue. And they would have to either match it, or I might have the color and say, well, how many red? How many blue? and see if they could differentiate that. That also tells me, do they know their colors? Because if I have two questions and there is indeed three red and two blue, if I say how many red and they put two, and how many blue they put three, that tells me that they are not yet understanding their colors during this assessment. So that assesses more than one objective for me as the kindergarten teacher. A step further for my students who do not yet understand their colors and still in the realm of counting in different categories using objects. I would still use the same concept, but instead I would have different containers that are different colors and a pile of maybe just starting off with just two different colors and asking them, could you separate these bears into their colors, their correct colors? And then each of those containers will be labeled with the color name. I will put a picture up of what that would look like as well at those tables that need that extra assistance for colors. And eventually, I will just say the colors. I won't say the numbers. Um, I would say put the red bears in the red container, put the yellow bears in the yellow container. And I will continuously do that until I see that they have mastered that skill, and then move on to adding maybe another color or asking them to give me three red teddy bears and two yellow teddy bears. So now that's giving them more than one category to work with. I really like this book. It's very catchy. Once you continuously read it, it's easy to understand for young students. It's actually recommended for pre-K and kindergarten, but for me, I would use it in my kindergarten class, especially since we already use color coded um, bears for counting in categories. Hope you like, and hope everyone is healthy and safe.